Good morning, viewers. This is TV Africa, and we are here live in Munyonyo. With me, a guest from Southern Sudan, actually a member of parliament from Southern Sudan, and my colleague Kamkama Alex, and the host I'm called Magundu. And we are here to discuss more about the network for parliamentarian committees on health, and we are also to discuss the implementation in South Sudan. How is it? And we are privileged to have a member of parliament and our friend working in. They will introduce themselves to you. Then we can kick off the program, and I will start with the other side.
Honorable Dr. Benjamin Malek Ania from South Sudan, a member of the Health and HIV Committee.
Yes.
Nice to see you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, TV for Africa. I'm Honorable Cornelius Mawien, acting chairperson for Health and HIV/AIDS Committee in the Parliament of South Sudan.
Yes.
Thank you once again. My name is Dr. Abraham John Tubo. I work for United Nations Population Fund, South Sudan Country Office.
Nice to see you, gentlemen. We have been here in a meeting, and parliamentarians have been discussing different issues about the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals.
People also would like to know about your name. Yes, I introduced Alex, but they can also know you.
Yes, thanks a lot. This is a very hyped up topic, so I went straight into dived into the bilge. My name is Alex Kamkama. I work with TV Africa. I co-host this program alongside Magundu. It's a pleasure to be here. This meeting has been about Sustainable Development Goals. Everyone is talking about this thing. It's the new era. But specifically for this meeting, we've been talking about some specific goals for health, which are touching on health, maternal and child health, and the like. So how has been your experience in this meeting, for example? And also we want to get your views about, the network for parliamentarians. How have you benefited? What have been, the great things that we can take home?
Okay, thank you again. As we are a participant of this networking for African Parliamentarian Committee of Health, we have really benefited a lot because it touched the key areas of Sustainable Development Goal. We was a task shifting from Millennium Development Goal to Sustainable Development Goal, and it is mainly on reproductive health and family planning, and also it touched the area of demographic dividend for the population of every country, and sum it up all for the benefit of the people of African continent as a whole. So the idea is touching the interest of the people of the continent.
Yes, once more, TV Africa. This interaction network of African committees of health. I think this is my third time to attend this workshop.
It was the first time?
The third time.
The third time, okay.
Yes, I attended in 2011, 2012, and actually we in South Sudan, we benefited a lot. First, South Sudan is a young country. We want to join our African countries to learn from their experiences. It was really very good when South Sudan became independent in 2011, July the 9th. Yes, we incorporated Millennium Development Goals in our health programs, but late. And we can say in South Sudan, with this very young age of 3 years or 4 years, we didn't achieve a lot. And I think transitioning from Millennium Development Goals to Sustainable Development Goals will give us an opportunity as a new country really to improve our services to our people. I think it is very good. We are learning, and we have learned a lot in areas of demographic dividends. It's really very important.
Okay, thank you. Before we come to him, yesterday different countries were setting goals on next year's meeting. Which goal did you set? For example, Uganda set a goal on insurance in whatever, in health. So what goal did you take as South Sudanese?
Yeah, for us as South Sudanese, as we mentioned that we are the beginners, we have selected the advocacy. We intended to go and advocate to synthesize the leadership, especially at the upper level, the honorable MPs, the executive, as we also extend to our state
them
on the issue of reproductive health, family planning, dividends, and then this tax shifting.
So, what do you think by next year? These meetings are always yearly.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? What do you think next year it will be, according to your goal?
According to our goal, we think that up to next year we would have synthesized a good number of honorable members and MPs. Even we can even go in to ensure that some laws are being formed, introduced, so that they meet the interest of the.
So if I go to once again,
Abraham.
My name is Abraham.
Abraham.
Yes.
You said you work for United Nations
Population Fund, South Sudan Country Office.
South Sudan. So what is it all about? United Population Fund on South Sudan. What is it all about?
Yeah, the reason actually I am with the honorable parliamentarians is because we in South Sudan, as United Nations Population Fund, we are also trying to support the government of South Sudan. Because if you look at the Sustainable Development Goals, it talks about all people. Nobody should be left behind. So we don't want also our new nation to be left behind. That's why we are here to make sure our decision makers, they are aware of the importance of sexual reproductive health services. They are aware of the importance of family planning. They are aware of the importance of the demographic dividends. They are aware of the importance of lifting the nation. Because we are recovering, we have just recovered from war and we are going towards the development. So we are here to support the government of South Sudan to make sure the decision makers, the leaders, they are aware of the importance of sexual reproductive health services. They are aware of all the services that are very important for the nation.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to ask a question to my friend there. Given the situation in South Sudan, war, instability, how are you going to implement this program? Because as I saw the structures yesterday, it is you discuss something, take it back to your parliament passes it, and then the government does its own work. So how are you going to achieve this?
This is a very important question.
Yes.
First of all, as you have seen in our presentation yesterday,
Yes, I saw it actually.
our promises in 2013, 2014 were aborted by this crisis, this war that erupted in 2013. So we couldn't achieve much. First, if you want to achieve, you must go to people. That crisis has really displaced most of our people to the neighboring countries and to internally displaced areas. And that is why we put it squarely that we didn't achieve because of war, something which was not planned. Yes, again, although the peace has been signed and the rebellion forces has returned and joined the government of transitional government of national unity has been formed. We hope peace dividend will appear to the people. We hope the displaced will go back to their house, to their homes. And from here, we will go slowly, starting with the MPs, with the government officials, making advocacy, because we started with advocacy because we think that we will not reach the grassroots now because they are still displaced. Okay. So we have to start with the government official, making them aware of the importance of increasing the budget in areas of reproductive health, in areas of family planning, in areas of demographic dividends. If we did this earlier, then we will be able to make things easier to implement them at the grassroots level.
Okay, thank you very much. This is TV Africa, and we are located in Kampala, and now we are live in Munyonyo Gardens, and we are trying to see what the South Sudanese are really planning for their people on network for parliamentarian committees on health. And we are having member of parliament from South Sudan, and we are really pushing and trying to know really how can we go about all the talked about mission and the goal they are going to do under PPD?
Yeah.
Yes. PPD. So I want to ask a question to you, sir. What do you think? Because this is TV Africa covers the white. It is a Pan-African TV, and we always look to issues concerning Africa and looking for solutions. Here we have a vision and a goal to implement in Southern Sudan about health and reproductive system. So what do you think is causing all, because we have to first know what is causing us war and how we can go about it. Minus that we can never implement anything. You brief us about the war in Southern Sudan. For us here in Uganda, we're going to be saying what's wrong with our brothers. What do you think has caused this, and how can it go? How can we go about it?
Okay, thank you again for TV of Africa. This is a very important question, and it is a little bit more political.
Yeah. Everything
in Africa context.
Yes.
You know, people that they have a different perception on how to implement democracy, of how to rule, how to govern. So, in our context, you get there are these people are wrangling over the position. You get people that are not having the same understanding towards how to govern. And with the mindset, already we were coming out from the war, our people are traumatized by war. So people, and it is capitalized by the...
For over 20 years.
Of the illiteracy. So people, they don't have a bigger understanding of how to make a headway of how to govern. Like the crisis that happened in South Sudan, it happened as just a difference within one party, the Liberation Party, which is SPLM. It is among themselves, the leaders in the one party, who has differed. When they differed, it was a problem of two people, and then it went back to the tribal line, simply because people are still illiterate, there is no much education, and even few elites who are educated, they are not having that perception that, look, gentlemen, this is our country, we have to stay one and exercise peace for some time. So we came out from war, and then immediately people just back to war for simple reason. Even our member state of IGAD, they came in shortly, and then they brought us together. Like now, we are talking, we have a relevant peace.
Do you think IGAD has done enough to bring you back together?
Yes, of course. Fairly, we are together, but the little thing remain will be worked out from within. So the active fight has been now subsided, but some what people were intending, like the position has been given back to those who felt that they have been removed from the position.
So we hope there is nothing more that is going to take place again, because we are always and like, these people can play, get a year when they are safe, another year. So we hope for stability in the country.
Well, like now we are focusing on peace and reconciliation. And to focus on peace and reconciliation, you have to do more effort so that you you sensitize people again so that they goes back to the normal state. Like now, we are trying to advocate so that our people who are in the UN camp, who are in displaced camp, should go back to their home and then get services. But the challenge is, we are in a big economic crisis. So these crises are the one bending our hand back, not to move in a speedy way. But we are trying at least to.
You are saying we are in a challenge of economic crisis. So what measures have government put to make sure you revive the economic crisis so that you can start gaining as a country?
As the government, our government now is more focusing on the agriculture and trying to make the linkages with international organizations in time communities such that they can at least stand with the government of South Sudan to sponsor these peace activities such that
okay, thank you.
People can
thank you very much. I come back to my United Nations mark. I would conceptualize you as a minister of foreign affairs because when you are United Nations, you know much more of the programs outside for Southern Sudan. So what package do you have for your brothers home? What package do you have to sensitize, make sure that we go back on the track?
Thank you very much for the questions once again. If you looked at the health indicators in South Sudan, they're really very poor. And I can give you one of them. Like we have the highest maternal mortality ratio in the world. So we as a United Nations Population Fund, we are trying to help the country to prevent mothers from dying from the preventable causes. Those preventable causes have been stopped in any other countries in the world, but they are still killing us in South Sudan. So our package for the government of South Sudan is to support, to build the health system, to help them also develop the human resource for health, and also the issue of the reproductive health commodity security, meaning that we need to make sure there are medicines in the health facilities from January up to December in all the year. So we have multiple approaches to help the country in different ways: the human resource, the health structuring, and also building the evidence to understand more during the surveys and studies, to understand what are the real challenges that are making us not to go ahead in terms of reducing the health indicators that are really terribly high in the country.
Okay, thank you. If I may ask my colleague about, because for you to understand more of this, what the seminar was on, and you more kind of like representative of the youth structure, what advice do you give our brothers in South Sudan on the youth program, not especially on population PPD? So what advice do you give to our people? Like you saw their presentation yesterday, they already told you it was affected by war. So what advice do you give these people here?
Yeah, thanks a lot. That's a nice one. You know, in this meeting I learned more yesterday when we were in the dinner, that we are all brothers as Africans, and what we need is to interact more, to work together more, and to solve our problems in our own ways, learn from each other and all that. And South Sudan is a young country, and we are brothers because we are really neighbors. And there's a lot that Uganda has been doing in terms of reproductive health. As a young person, and also as a person who is on the Committee of Health at the country level, I would say one of the things that young people in Sudan that I would recommend is, first of all, to start gathering young people into groups. Young people have different thoughts, they have different ideas. Whenever we gather them, then we can integrate our programs very well. Issues of reproductive health, like you said, first of all, young people in Sudan have to have a mindset of reproductive health. Not everyone is keen about their health, mostly the young boys. For girls, statistics have shown that they are more keen about health. But they need to start talking about these issues. There need to be fora, there need to be workshops, seminars, in schools, in communities. All these people, young people have to be put together in groups. And organizations like UNFPA support only people who are in groups. You know, it's hard to reach people individually. So I think one of the things that I would advise the members of parliament is to create structures in our constituencies whereby resources, knowledge, and issues like this can be imparted into our young people. The other thing also is to, as leaders, you have learned a lot from your childhood to become the person that you are now. So training young people in leadership and also giving them, you know, direction of what things they should focus on. The SDGs have put it very clearly, and I think all of us, starting with the first SDG, which says we want to eliminate extreme poverty everywhere, in all forms. And all the SDGs, right now we're focusing on health, but all the SDGs matter really much. Peace and security is one of the other things. Young people have a lot of power and they'll be indulging into violence and acts like that. So I think training young people to become the leaders we want them to be. From the local level to the national level is one of the things that I would advise. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We might be coming to conclusions. I have questions. My questions are too wide because we have to beat here and there so that we can really get sensitized and know what we can do. So, giving the relationship between Uganda and South Sudan, I know in Uganda we are acting like an example that you are following up to implement your programs, or you come up with something and the first person you ask is the one you know has done it before. So now I want to talk about a little bit about this relationship, because business, you already said the economy, you talked about economic downfall of Southern Sudan. What did you talk about Ugandans in South Sudan who have been heavily mistreated? I quote, and most of them have been brought back, and most of them, when they are doing business with you from Nimore to South Sudan, then they are killed, and that business is not going well. What's the problem? Why is it that relationship is not recognized to an extent? If I may start with him.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. First of all, let me thank you and the people of Uganda.
Because I believe if such kind of small things are cleared, then it is one way of pushing our goal. It is one way of implementing our things. Okay? But when I'm having my trailer is going to South Sudan, I'm killed on the way, it gives a bad image.
So let me thank you first. Uganda and people of South Sudan have been brothers ever since, even before independence. We know our leaders. The first leaders were educated in Uganda. Makarari, even when we were still in Sudan. This is one thing, and we feel at home when we come to Uganda. Those of our brothers and sisters in Uganda, they feel at home when they are in South Sudan. Saying that the Ugandan are being mistreated in South Sudan, I think this is not true.
Are you sure? We have evidence.
Yes.
People
yes. Why I'm saying this? First of all, criminals represent themselves. And nobody, a sound person from South Sudan, can send a criminal person to go and kill others. When somebody commits a crime, he or she is committing that crime on his or her own behalf, not on behalf of other governments or government. So I can say, those who are killing Ugandans are also killing South Sudanese.
So you want to tell me that the
I want to
problem-
tell you, it is our own problem. All of us, South Sudanese and Ugandan are the same. Crimes or criminals have decided just to kill us, all of us, irrespective of what is happening. But I may say also, these criminals themselves, sometimes they are selective. They are selective
It is
because
tribalism.
no, I will say it. Today, if they see I have a good business and I have some money, that criminal is looking at this of this amount of money. He want to take this money from me. So maybe our brothers and sisters in Uganda have good businesses, and the criminals are looking for money. So a criminal cannot kill a poor person.
Okay,
So that is why I'm saying.
I'm yet to be convinced. The same question.
Yeah, the same question. Again,
Yeah.
thank you for your question. Actually, as my colleague put it, it is not true. Ugandan are not mistreated.
You have to tell Ugandans it is not true, and they get sensitized. It is not true. But
Because there is a
some
lot
of
of
us
fear
we
that-
believe you people. Whenever you see our light-skinned colors, the short people, you kill us.
No. I want to assure Ugandan that it is not true. There is no segregation between South Sudanese and Ugandan. Even when South Sudan slip into crisis, Ugandan went there with its forces. And all along, Uganda is there following up the criminals of LRA in the Western Sudan, Western South Sudan. So we have a joint force. We are trying to defend our integrity and then to put our country in peace so that this isolated incident of criminals are being pursued jointly. So we don't have segregation there. But if you get some isolated incident, as my colleague put it, these are the people who have very flashy business. So they are being targeted once after it happened. But it is not being mentioned that it is because
We
of
have
the
rebel
Ugandan.
group-
It do happen even our South Sudanese themselves. South Sudanese themselves, their houses are being raided, being looted. So it happened.
So that brings up
But it is not a question that we should inform our public that there is this. No. So we want to put our house together.
Yes.
As a neighbor, people learn from. If you don't learn from your neighbor, you will not learn faster.
So who
And
do
this is why
you
we are
think?
changing
Who
the
do you
ideas
think are
together.
these people killing us? Do we have rebel groups apart from the recent issues? Other rebel groups in South Sudan?
Yeah, I can answer that question. First of all, you know those who work against the government sometimes, what do they target? They can even target the foreigners in that country
There
to
is-
tarnish the image of
There
the
is a
government.
general called the
Yes.
Yayu Yayu.
Yao Yao.
Yao Yao. Is he a rebel in South Sudan or is part of government?
It's now part of government.
Are you sure?
Yes.
How
It's a
how did they bring him on?
He is now even a deputy defense minister.
I thought he was part of the rebels, different from
Yes.
Riek Machar. And
Yes,
Eh.
he was part of a rebel group called South Sudan Democratic Army.
South Sudan Democratic
Democratic
Army.
Army.
Because I am trying to track
Yeah.
alongside Limwere up to Juba. Who are those people that shoot our businessmen?
We have some criminals.
Even our relatives
Some.
have been killed in this way. Also on the way, our relatives
So
have been killed.
I am actually happy to say to hear Yao Yao is part of the government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is great. But those people who kill our people, our foreign man, I call you foreign because you work with foreign organizations, which come here and they have their different missions, though they look to be helping. What do you have to say about it? Or you might be having more intelligence
About what?
about the people who are trying to destabilize our relationship so that we can implement our STD goals. Who are those people trying to destabilize us?
You know, I will actually refer the question to the government because it is the duty of the government to answer those questions. But for us as United Nations Population Fund in South Sudan, we are a lead agency actually in the reproductive health. And our goal is we want to make sure that every pregnancy is wanted. Every childbirth is safe. And every young people potentials are fulfilled. This is what we want to help government of South Sudan to.
Okay, thank you.
We need everybody to live in a healthy life and a productive life.
We are going to our last segment of the program. You all know about Pan-Africanism. I'm going to ask you a question because for us we are a little bit young. We are younger than you. You have seen the world before we were even thought of to be created. What is your take on the word Pan-Africanism? Because it seems to be something which is just a theory in Africa, and by the 1952, 1950s, it was the theme that was driving Africa to success. It was driving Africa to the promised land. But after Africa getting its independence, I call it half independence. We are not yet independent because we are still running white programs. We are still running economy of the whites. So what has happened with Pan-Africanism? Or what is your take on Pan-Africanism? 1952 to date. I will start with you.
Yes, thank you very much. Pan-Africanism, according to what we learned from our former leaders, as we learned, was being championed by those of Nkrumah, by those of Senghor of Senegal, by Lumumba, and many other Africans. You see, it was an umbrella under which Africans want to get independent. And they were even supporting this liberation movement within the African countries. That goal, that Pan-Africanism, they were calling for Africa for Africa.
But now it is Africa for what? For
And
Europe.
now I can say
It's Africa for Europe, for imperialism.
Africa itself is part of the world. So Africa cannot live in isolation. So it is part of the world, and they have to interact, especially after this globalization. But you see, always we are living on Earth, and we cannot turn the Earth to be a paradise to achieve all what we need. So I am convinced Africa is going well, and we need to work harder to solve some of our problems that are still facing Africa. But I think African Union
and
doing its best.
And before we go to...
And now you can see African Union is now going the way of European Union. And you have seen lately that British has opted outside the European Union, but still they are neighbors and they have a specific goal, national aspirations and regional aspirations. So this thing is there. Sometimes this national and regional aspiration collide.
Okay.
And they create some...
Let us go to my man here.
Mm.
Why IGAD sort of South Sudanese issues and leaving our mother, AU, African Union, just looking at us dying, looking at us suffering, and they don't have any take in our war? Is it necessary to have AU anyway? And an idea brought by Kwame Nkrumah and his friends, by that time, what a great idea. And what an idea that is really disappointing. Now, what do you have to talk about it?
Yeah, I want to say that Pan-Africanism has advanced. Having mentioned the great leaders we have talked about, even of recent we were having those of Nyerere and Nelson Mandela, plus our hero, Lady John Garang. They work hard on this.
Very great,
Even Kenyatta, and this Pan-Africanism. And this is why you have seen that we have bodies like AU and IGAD next door, because Africa, it has some regions, and it is still expanding. Like now we are talking about networking of African parliamentarian committees.
Yes.
You see, it has made a step forward, so we are advancing. So to come specific to talk about IGAD, because we are in one region, and if we are in one region, we have to pin down the insecurity that is arising. That is why IGAD members of the state came together and said, no, we don't want another fire to be lighting in South Sudan, because it is a closed door. So AU, they are also part and parcel of this body.
Is it relevant to our programs, right? Because you find UN comes in, ICC comes in, where what is the take of AU, African Union, on it?
No,
on
though,
this issue?
though the ICC come in and then UN, still we talk about globalization. But under this globalization, AU and IGAD, regional state, they have to sit and then if it is difficult, they get to be imposed by the other super authorities. But we have to realize ourselves that yes, we are citizens in a given geographical areas, we have to solve our problem. So to me, I can say that Africa has advanced. The idea of our great heroes has been advanced by the younger generation. And even the younger generation who are going to come, they will cement this. So, and I think that it is the only way for us to solve our problem.
So as we conclude, after the downfall of John Garang, personally, I believe that he had his own mission about South Sudan, and then he goes. So, do you think you people have done enough to implement his decisions in South Sudan, to make his program achieve in South Sudan?
I can say yes, partly, because John Garang has done his best. And I think his mission stopped when he lost his life. That is it. And then the banner has been given to those who are with John Garang. And they are doing it in their own way. So what we can say, John Garang policies and principles are still directing us.
Is his family still in touch with his development? For
family?
example, the wife, Mama Garanga, and the son.
Yes, the family is there.
They seem to have a conflict with
With the current leadership.
with the current regime. So that one does not give a good image of implementing the father of South Sudanese vision and goal.
You see, John Garang himself, even the brother of John Garang, cannot be a replica of John Garang himself. Therefore, he has the members of family, whether Mama Rebecca, the late wife, or his children, son, Mabur. But Mabur can never be the same like John Garang. Everybody has his or her own entity and the way of doing things. So we cannot expect everybody around John Garang to be doing what John Garang was exactly doing.
So what do you think is bringing conflict? Because I know she's not in good terms with government. What is the problem?
No, the problem can be best explained by Madame Rebecca by herself.
You as South Sudanese, no, you as South Sudanese, you should be having a little bit of a hint on what is the problem.
No, the problem is just only it's just a power struggle from within.
Okay.
Within one party. As you know, when I mentioned that there is African context, there is this phobia when you think that the leadership is from this family. People believe that it should be inherited. You see? So maybe the perception from Mama Nyandeng and
Mama
Mabio, the wife of the late Dr. John.
Oh,
It's called Mama Nyandeng, Rebecca Nyandeng.
Oh, Rebecca
So
Nyandeng.
that can be the perception.
Okay.
But I want to say that it can be best explained by them. because we were having two scenarios, a revolution movement.
Yes.
And after we have finished with the liberation struggle, we have turned to another dimension of how to govern, to establish good governance and all that. And to do good governance, we have to develop a constitution, laws and regulations to control everybody. But some can say no, it should not be like that. Especially when they move together with SPLMIO, to Riek Machar, who is now become the first vice president. They were having that idea that the constitution we have at hands need to be shaped as the wish. And we have a parliament who's decided this constitution should take us through this transition period. And even stated the term of election. We was stated to be 5 years. And then we remain only to go for election after 1 year. Then they decided they were
We hope for
impatient.
elections in South Sudan.
Yeah, we hope for that.
When are we going to have elections?
Now, in 2018.
2018?
Yeah.
Oh, this man wants to have 10 years without elections. Is that
What we want to do now,
is
we want to say, look, gentlemen, everybody put down his gun.
yes,
We put them in the store,
yes,
and then we say, now, we put the law to govern South Sudan. But those who have arms, they are refusing. They think that they don't want to be disarmed.
yes.
I think
And if we manage to have an organized army of South Sudan, we have to train majority of the officers. The arm can be in one place, and then from there we will have an opportunity to go for election. With the help of our regional members of IGAD,
I know.
we will be in a position to put all our arms in one place.
yes, I have something to say. You see, I can say Salva Kiir has no interest to stay in power for life. But I think those who want to overthrow Salva Kiir have even prolonged his life in the government, indirectly. Why? When Riek Machar rebelled, it was in 2013.
2013, December.
December. And elections were expected to be in 2015.
Oh, we had prepared the election in
Yes,
2015.
2015.
So what do
So
you think was
if
the
Riek
problem
Machar
when
did
there
not
were elections?
rebel, huh?
Didn't he stand and
Okay, if Riek Machar did not rebel in 2013, the election could have taken place in 2015. And who knows, maybe Salva Kiir could have not come back.
Okay.
So, they have even, the rebellions and the rebels have even cemented Salva Kiir in power for longer.
Okay.
Yes. It's not his wish.
Okay, we are coming to an end of this program. This has been Foundation Africa program, and this is TV Africa.
Yeah.
And with me were the member of parliament from South Sudan and a member from United Nations Cooperation Fund. And with me was my colleague Kamkama. And you say bye-bye to your people. You just say bye-bye, your concluding remarks.
Thank you to TV Africa for giving us this chance for our brothers in Africa to hear the viewpoint of people of South Sudan.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, thank you again, TV of Africa. We are really happy because as brothers from one continent, like in this networking, we came about 19 or 20 states from Africa, and some countries are out. And we hope that we will expand such that all African countries can come in under one umbrella, such that we talk one issue.
Thank you.
Thank
Your
you.
concluding remarks.
Yeah, thank you, Africa, for these interactions. We hope that you also help us to alleviate the agenda of sexual reproductive health in Africa continent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. It's a great pleasure that we're having this opportunity to discuss about issues of development in our area, and these issues touch every life. Your family, your friends, your son's family, your daughter's family, everyone. So I think I would like to thank TV Africa and also our brothers, and the brotherhood should keep going on.
Thank you very much. This has been TV Africa here in Kampala, Uganda, and we are live in Munyonyo. I would like to say it has been a grateful discussion, and with you on Foundation Africa program, the host I'm Pod Magundu, and we say bye-bye. Catch you next.